Bruce Porter joins us now for this week's Dollars and Cents segment. Good to see you, Bruce Porter. How you doing?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Got a good question for us today?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the 3 big retirement mistakes people make.
All right, there we go. What are the 3 big, huge retirement? We don't want to make any mistakes. We certainly want to make huge ones.
Well, that's right. First thing we're going to talk about is the unknown.
Okay.
People don't realize that it's not let's make a deal. What's behind door number 1? Now I've got my life savings. I don't want that kind of retirement plan. I don't want to know what the growth is going to be, how long it's going to last. I want a plan that's going to guarantee that that's not a concern, right?
Okay.
All right. So
can we do that?
Well,
is it feasible?
We don't want to risk our life savings.
No.
Because now we're retired. We want to protect against the downside. No one knows what the upside will bring, but we can insure against that downside risk. Now, when we're retired, we've talked about it. You're unemployed. So now we got our money working for us. So we want to take the stress off that money. And the unknown stress of security can be devastating to our balance because we don't want to go back to work. Now, by protecting balance, we protect against a battle that we would have to climb out of a hole. So retirement is tough enough. We don't want to create another problem trying to come out of the hole, get a part-time job, rebuild savings, things like that.
Right. So we're assuming now that you have the money set back. You just need to know what to do with it so you don't lose it.
So the unknown is number 1. We want to take that out of that equation. The unexpected. No one ever expects to lose money. Anybody that has been in market investments or any other investment and they've lost money, it's always, I didn't think it would ever do that.
You never would have made the investment to begin with if you really thought that it was going to go that
People don't invest to lose money. They invest to make money. Now, when you have a variable investment, it is just that. It is a variable. It can go up, it can go down. Another thing we got to remember, dividends are not guaranteed. So your stock value is a figure, your dividend value is a figure. Now, the example that we look at is, here's just a financial stock, $205 billion in assets.
Okay.
All right? So it's a very large company stock. Now, in 2007, it was $51 a share. Its dividend was 5.8%. So on $500,000, that's creating a dividend income of $29,000.
Not bad.
What happened 2007, 8, and 9?
Well,
Bottom fell
didn't go
out.
so well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now March of 2009, here we set our same stock because we didn't move it, $3.14 a share. Our dividend is 1/10 of a point. So now our balance and our share value went to 35 grand. What did our dividend income do?
Well, it dropped just slightly, didn't it?
It dropped a little. Now, 7 years later, 9 years since the high, 7 years later, we're back up to $20 a share. Our dividend's $149. So now our balance has recovered about 50% back to $227, but our dividend income is still $3,300. So when you're depending on a blue chip type stock and a dividend type income portfolio in retirement, you got to be mindful it's not guaranteed.
And you might want to set yourself some limits here. If it does start to drop, talk to your advisor about, should I unload this now?
So the undone, that's number 3.
Okay.
You led right into it. So why do people not pull it when it's dropping? Fear and greed.
Yep.
They're fearful that they're going to pull it too quick, and they're greedy enough to wait for it to go back the other direction. So what happens, you're trying to time the market with your life savings. That's just not a good idea.
Hurts. Yeah.
Well, it's painful because that's it. We don't have the ability to go back and earn it again, so now we're dependent on that environment to sustain us. When we change lifestyle by going from a working environment to now we're retired, that's a lifestyle change. You got to remember, an investment plan, a retirement plan, totally different objectives. The retirement plan is focused on income. Sustainable income is the most important thing you can have in retirement.
All right. And maybe the biggest mistake to begin with is not saving for it. Pay attention to that. Pay yourself first.